Champions League quarterfinal, Real Madrid. We are playing at home. Obviously, it's not going to be easy, but I don't think we need the performance of our life. We need a good performance, obviously. We need to deliver our best and do the right steps. We cannot think or overthink. We have to go step by step. We have to defend well. We have to attack well and do the great game. I think first step, and obviously it's like a big part of the season. Looking forward and looking where we are is Champions League and it's quarterfinals. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to John.
Hello. Can I just ask you about your own season, your own form this season? It must have been a difficult, challenging campaign with the change of managers and so on, but you've overcome difficult times in the past. How strong mentally do you have to be, and how happy, or otherwise have you been with your form this season?
Yeah, I think it's a positive, very positive season for me. Looking personally, I think the last two seasons I had played 15 games per season. Now I am playing more. I am feeling well. I am feeling with confidence, and I am enjoying on the pitch. I think it's the basic. I think it's the most important thing. And obviously the season in general is not the best one, but personally I think I am happy with my season.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gary.
Hello, Kepa.
Hello.
Have you all been practicing penalties, and if so, have you been practicing taking as well as saving?
Well, we didn't think too much in penalties for this game. I think we were focusing in many other areas. I think that we had to think before. Obviously, if we arrive to penalties, obviously we are looking everything and we know everything. And I think we have good takers in this area that they are training during the weeks. Penalties not right or not just today or yesterday. So I think hopefully we can arrive to penalties. This means like we win 2-0, so it's not bad.
Davide.
Hi, Kepa. From a team perspective, this is going to be the fourth game under manager Frank Lampard. What has he changed, and what do you think you need to do to win this game and go to the next round?
Obviously, we need better performance that we had in Bernabeu. We need to control better the counter-attacks. We need spend better the time with ball. We need to create more chances for sure. We need to score goals. And we need be more clinical maybe in both areas. I think it's going to be a key.
Carrie.
Kepa, Matt Law reporting in the Telegraph about Todd Boehly coming in to have a chat with you after the last match. He absolutely wears his heart on the chest, doesn't he? He's very open in his language, but the report is he said the performance has been embarrassing. What's that like to hear, and can you take a lot from him? Is he very open in what he feels? And what do you think Frank Lampard can bring from a big European night like this? Because he has unfinished business, doesn't he, as a manager in this competition?
Obviously, hopefully tomorrow we can involve all the fans, all Stamford Bridge, deliver our best and make this different atmosphere that we need in this game to go through. It's not going to be easy. But as I said before, we have to go step by step, do the right things from the beginning, and push as much as we can. And the other thing, as you say, Todd came to the change room every game, so he had like different chat with us, different games, and I'm not gonna say what he said, but it's normal when he came to the change room.
Gentleman on the right.
Hola, Kepa. Antonio. I don't know if you can imagine a scenario of a remontada. Chelsea are able to come back tomorrow. I don't know if you've thought about this or not. If Chelsea can still get through, or if everything's a lost cause. It's a very complicated situation, but if you can still arrive to beat them. Well, let's hope. The situation last year in the Bernabeu, we were winning 3-0. It's obviously not easy. It was a dream, and we did it. Obviously, we didn't get through in the end, but that shows that we can do it in this sort of situation. After the first leg last year, it also seemed like a lost cause. Having to come back from the game was not easy. But in the second leg, it was tough, but we almost did it. That shows we can do it. We've got to do things properly, step by step. Not thinking about trying to win 4-0, just doing things right. And being able to stop them. They've got different skills in every part of the pitch. That changed the match.
I watched you make 2 great saves on Saturday against Brighton, and you say yourself that you're feeling very confident. Yet over the time I've seen you play at Chelsea, it always seems to me that you still have to try to convince the fans that you are deserving of the number 1 place. It seems that the relationship has always been a bit uncertain, that maybe they still need to be convinced. Why do you think the fans feel like that, and what can you do to assure them that you are the man that can take this club forward and into the Champions League final?
Well, this is obviously question for a fan, so the fans can have different opinions about different players, about if you like more one player, the other one. What I can do is like deliver my best, work every day, try to perform in the best way, and try to help the team. This is my job. This is what I am doing in the last 5 years, and what I am doing is like try to do my best for Chelsea to win.
How much does Chelsea mean to you?
Well, it's my home for 5 years now. I am very happy to be here. Of course, I am feeling like at home, and I am enjoying this journey that we had in the last few years.
Hola, Kepa, en español.
Lampard said after the first leg that he didn't realise how good Real Madrid were. Does that surprise you? And what did Real Madrid show you on that day that you can work on tomorrow? The squad that Real Madrid has, the whole club, the team, there's not much you can add to that. It's a club that has a lot of history. In its history, they're the kings of it. I don't know what they can improve or what we can do to be surprised by Real Madrid, but we already know everything about them, about their history, about their team. So what we can do is looking at the first leg and preparing for tomorrow, closing down space. We weren't decisive enough, neither in defence or attack. I think in both boxes we weren't decisive or clinical in their box. That's what will make the difference tomorrow.
You spoke earlier about your personal battles since you've come here to keep your place in the team. What were your feelings when a manager effectively dropped you the first time, came back? What was your initial feeling? Did you have a chat with him then? And I just wondered, do you still have your Champions League medal from a couple of years ago, or does that mean nothing to you, and does that make this more special from the fact that you were sat on the bench?
No, I have my medal. I'm in the good place in my home, and obviously I'm very happy to have that. And the other question was like 3 years ago. It's different situation. It's different. Everything is different. now I am playing. Frank came here again. He's our manager, and he's taking his decision every game. And when he picked me to be in the start 11, I am trying to give my best.
Alex?
Hi. Since Frank Lampard's come back, he's spoken a lot about belief. How is belief in the squad, and do you think you are lacking confidence?
I don't know, lacking confidence. Maybe we are not in our best shape. We are in 11th in the league. It's not a good season for us. This is obvious. And what we have to do is believe until the end, because in these stadiums, things like remontadas can happen before, and we have to believe that will happen tomorrow. We have to deliver, as I said before, our best and try to do the right things. We need big performance, not the performance of our life maybe, but obviously a big performance.
Gentleman on the right.
Hola, Kepa.
You were speaking before about closing down space, stopping counter-attacks. We speak about Vinicius in this sense. And looking at the game Vinicius did last year and the game in the Bernabeu. How do you prepare to come up against a player like Vinicius? He's a player that's in great form. He's an amazing player, and with space, he's unstoppable. Even when we had the ball and we were attacking, we left too much space behind for him. We were almost too worried about him. Then we were on the back foot and chasing many meters behind to catch up with him. Then we had to start from our own goal. We need to push to keep them in their own half. That's something we can work on for tomorrow. He's really, in his current moment, he's amazing, yeah. Talking again about space. Do you have a special plan to stop Vinicius? Or is it stopping all the stars like Modric, Benzema, etc.? Obviously we have a plan. We have an idea how to work on it. But as a team, it's a team sport coming up against Madrid. It's not just one player we're coming up against. If you think only about one, then someone else will hurt you. We have to work as a team to stop Vinicius and all the other players.
I just wanted to ask, because there's been so much change in the squad over the past year or so many new players arriving, now it's a very big squad, and sometimes the chemistry on the pitch hasn't seemed amazing. So I just wanted to ask you, how has the group been in terms of building chemistry off the pitch day by day in training? And does it affect things when lots of players know that they're not going to be in the squad?
Well, it's true that we have a lot of players, maybe more than normal usually in the team, but I think it's not question obviously for me. I think what can I say is like the atmosphere in the change room. Obviously, we are not happy where we are, but the atmosphere is good. It's not problem between us. It's not fighting. It's not nothing like this. So we are trying to find a way to win the games. Just that it's true that we had a lot of changes, but we are the first one that we know that, and we won't change the situation.
Thank you. We'll end it there. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Moose.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
First, from the outside, it looks a bit like Chelsea's broken at the moment. Is that fair? And secondly, if you get through tomorrow, is it a bigger achievement in footballing terms than when you won it in 2012 with Real Munich?
We're not where we want to be. I think the word broken is a bit much, but we're not where we want to be. And that's clear. League position is a reality in the Premier League. We're 2-0 down in this game. So I think those things are just reality. We have to work against that and show in every way we can because we're in that moment. I don't think anything tomorrow will be better than winning the Champions League, from my opinion, because we had many moments on that run of difficulties against Barcelona in that game and Napoli and all this. It was a huge run where there were a lot of big achievements. But I understand your point. I think for us, considering the result now, considering the team we're up against, because in that moment that we're in, we have to fight really hard to make it happen. So, of course, that would be special. Thank you.
Gary Cottrell, Sky Sports News.
Hello, Frank.
Hi, Gary.
Obviously, you were disappointed after the game on Saturday. You used words like lacking capacity and in need of physical work. You were speaking on large about mental work as well, but some have taken you saying lacking capacity and in need of physical work as a criticism of players not being fit enough, so a criticism of the previous regime. Is that how you meant it?
No, I think that's how you've taken it on that side, because I think I'm always big in football on personal responsibility as a player and as a group, to be fair. So when I'm talking like that, I'm not blaming anyone else on what I see now and what I see in the future. So it's just something that we have to address now and address going forward, because it's a big part of the game, and we do a lot of work and delve into the data, the statistics, the output of what we're putting into games. And this is absolutely, I think I said it the other day, not a question of commitment of players, but my job is to try and focus in on points that we can get better at to compete at this level. And I think it's something that I know as a short-term thing that we can certainly improve on, and that's what we're going to do.
Matt Law, Daily Telegraph.
Hiya, Frank.
Hi.
After the weekend's defeat, the owners went into the dressing room, and I believe Todd addressed the players and had some quite strong language and encouraging language, both things by the sounds of it. Kepa's just said that it's normal that they go in the dressing room, virtually every game, he said. Is that healthy? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I am comfortable with that. And I think, for me, there's maybe some criticism of our old owner of not coming to the games and not being around. And that wasn't always true, to be fair. But I think when an owner is very vested in their interest in the team and wanting to help and improve, I think it's their prerogative to have the input that they want. I remember the moments as a player of owners first coming into dressing rooms actually happened here at Chelsea. It never really happened to me before. And I remember being really happy that the owner, you could touch them, you could high-five them, you could listen to them and feel them. So I don't think that's a bad thing in terms of the identity of the club and where you want to get to. So I have no problem with it. And from my point of view, I had my things to say after the game. If an owner comes in and wants to be positive and wants to speak to the players, then I think it's absolutely his part to do that. And like Kepa, I think, has said there, it can be very regular in the modern day. No problem. In fact, it shows passion, and that's the first thing that I like. So, yeah, that's it.
John Cross,
Thanks,
Daily Mirror.
Hello, Frank. I was just going to ask you, how important is the atmosphere tomorrow night if you want to turn this tie around? Because there's obviously a bit of anger and angst towards particularly the ownership on Saturday, and the atmosphere can be negative. So how important is it that it's positive you get to be on the team tomorrow night to turn around?
I've got no doubt it will be positive. And when I talk about that, I talk about the lead to the game, the start of the game. I think the rest is a little bit down to us. It's down to us as a team to play with a real desire and a know-how to try and turn this game around. I think for sure. I've been here too many times in this level of game at Chelsea, at Stamford Bridge, on an evening midweek Champions League knockout game to understand that the atmosphere is going to be great. And again, now it's time for us to tap into that early in the game and make sure that we engage the crowd throughout, because they can help us for sure. That's why we're at home. That's why this two-legged competition is the best out there. So yeah, I'm confident in that. We just need to play our part.
Carrie Brown, being Matt, pass the mic to Carrie, and then you can have it back. Thanks.
Hi, Frank.
Hi.
Just taking you back to two big Champions League moments. 2012 in the Nou Camp, a huge occasion, and the man with the winner at the last moment, a man that we knew was quality and couldn't find that quality, Fernando Torres, who then went on a great run of form after that, and also the cruelty of you leaving the club as the manager in your last stage when you gotten them into the last 16. In terms of the players you have in that dressing room, you talk about you have complete belief in their commitment, but just the true performances for them aren't coming through. Does this give you an opportunity to show them that it happened for Fernando Torres in a competition away from the league? You can really prove yourself. And you left those players who went all the way to that Champions League final to win it against City. Do you still see there is enough of that culture and belief in that dressing room to put on that performance again tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think anything is possible in football anyway, and there's no doubt that we're a competitive team and we deserve to be here in this stage of the competition. We also understand that the opponent is really high level. I think it's got to be careful to compare to previous moments or actions or games, because for Fernando Torres running through and rounding the keeper and scoring this amazing goal for Chelsea, there's like a big body of work behind that, and maybe good and bad and difficult moments. And that's a personal thing for Fernando, and it was a group thing for us. We'd lost semi-finals, we'd lost quarter-finals, we'd lost the final. So there's always a lot of backstory to it. The only thing, when you look back on those things, is to say that it's always possible to create that story and start that story, and we do have that opportunity. So I think it's not worth comparing too much. It's just worth focusing on the here and now with a little understanding that if we get things right, if we work hard, if we do the right things in the game, then anything is possible.
Hang on, Kerry. We're going to give everyone a chance. Otherwise, there's too many people here. Front row, gentleman on the right-hand side with the headphones on. Pass the microphone along, please. Thank you.
Hola, Frank.
Hi, Frank. You've been in football for a long time as a player and a coach. How do you explain the strength that Real Madrid have over the years? Even if they're not playing well in the Champions, they're always, doesn't matter if they've signed new players or not, they're always performing well in the Champions. They're always a competitive team in the Champions League. Where does this come from?
Know the exact Real Madrid story from inside, but to look on the outside, firstly, they have a great coach who I understand very well from working with him. So I think he needs to take full credit in this moment, because what we saw last year in their run to the final was an amazing resilience that he led. And then what's very visible from the outside is a core of players that have been there for a very long time, playing at the highest level year after year, which means that they have talent and work ethic and leadership skills, and they drive the group as I see it. And I'm talking obviously about Modric and Kroos and Benzema and others. So I think they have a very good recipe for a team that will be successful over a period of time. They also have individual talent that can win a game in any moment, whether they are in control or without control. And I think those special players at the top end of the pitch at this level can be absolutely crucial to success, and they have those. So they have a very good overall unit to have the success that they've had for so long.
Matt Dunn.
Hi, Frank. We spoke about the owners a few moments ago. Regardless what happens to you in the next few weeks in the club, I'm sure as a sort of club hero, your interest is in Chelsea being in the best shape it is when you leave going forward. With that in mind, are you able to help the owners through some of the intricacies of English football? Because, I mean, I don't know, we all winced for you, I think, when Todd Bowley was proudly predicting a 3-0 win in Madrid, and it's not the sort of thing perhaps an English owner does, and there's certain things that seem to be rankling with the fans that perhaps they need to learn culturally, should we say, about the game over here. Is that something you can help them with?
No, all I'll do is speak honestly about how I see the club and do my work. And whilst I'm here and I am manager of the football club in this period, I'll speak honestly. I'll do my work on the training ground. and and have a lot of communication, because that's my job, and I'm good with that, and I have a lot of care for this club, and that's my job. It's not my job to sort of consider people's approaches or these things. I'll just speak honestly myself about what I see.
Andy Dillon, the Sun.
Hi, Frank. If I might just go back to a couple of earlier points. The first one, we've spoken a bit about the owners, and I saw the photograph. It was quite a striking photograph from Saturday of Todd talking to the guy leaning over, and they're having a discussion. I just wonder if you think that sort of thing actually can be helpful to an American owner who's coming over here to have a fan in his face and let him know how it, because he kind of then sees what it means to people at the coalface, and whether that's a good learning experience for him. And secondly, you were talking about the players, and you mentioned personal responsibility and the data and stuff like that. I just wonder if you think then, as a group, these players could maybe give a bit more physically, and if that's the point you're driving at with that.
No, I'll answer that bit first. Sorry, come back to that. But no, I think, listen, again, I think I said it the other day, I said it earlier. I'm not questioning commitment of the players. I think sometimes I got asked after the game on Saturday if the players look hungry enough, and I answered it in the terms that people. I think it's very easy to get to that point from the outside of does a player look hungry enough, when there are a lot of factors that come together to try and get a team playing at its peak, and the confidence, belief, the physical nature of the game, the tactical nature of the game. So I think they're all, it feels like everyone's jumping on this physical thing. It's a part of the game that's very important. It always will be. But there are also other parts of the game that we can improve on. So it's just, from my point of view, it's just trying to attack those things. And, I call them the baseline things, because I think without those baseline things, we will struggle at top-end football to get results. So, we're trying to broach those things together in quick time to get quick results. And the reality is some of them take time to get us better. So that's fine. Tomorrow's a huge game that we need to just focus on. In terms of the ownership and fans, I think passion goes both ways. The fans show passion. I don't think that the ownership or anybody would come and be involved in Chelsea and expect anything else than the fans to have a complete passion for wanting this club to do well. We've been fortunate enough to be very successful for a lot of years, last 20 years, which means you want more of it. So I don't think that anyone needs schooling on that. I think that's very clear. And I think also with the word passion coming from both sides, passionate owners that want to make a difference and have a real vision for the club. And we're in probably the early stages of a process on those terms. And again, keep getting asked a lot of the same sort of stuff again about when you look at processes in the Premier League and teams that want to rise to stay at the top. And at the minute we're just off that, we know. People always question everything in the beginning and in the early part of the process. And I think there's an important part for us working is that we just kind of get our heads down and work with what's in front of us. But passion and that is normal. I don't think it's a problem. I certainly don't find it as a problem. We can all be passionate together and work in the same direction to get where we want to be.
Okay, we've got time for two more, and then we're going to have to finish. Jacob and then Adrian to finish.
Chelsea last year in this time are probably in a worse situation than this time. Have you used that game at all? Will you study that game to see where potentially there might be a way to hurt Madrid? And also, last week there were times when you did cause them problems. Did you see enough in that first leg that if you play at the kind of pace, intensity you're talking about, that there is a chance of turning this around?
Yeah, I've studied both games from last year. I don't always study games from previous years, but I think it was important because there's a lot of similarities in personnel through the team, and so I felt it was important for myself and the staff to look at that. We also have the quick reference of last week in terms of Madrid and how they generally set up and the threats that they have and how we want to approach that. I think when you talk about last week, we had opportunities to score there and make the scoreline better. But at the same time, there were a lot of things that we could have done better in that game. When I felt it in game, and I feel it even more having reviewed the game. There were things that we wanted to do from the outset that we didn't do well enough throughout the game. And I'm not just talking about the physical side there. I'm talking about at this level in terms of our use of the ball. So I think we can improve on that tomorrow, and we have to improve on that tomorrow to have a better chance of turning this game around. So that's for us to work on, and hopefully you see the fruits of that in the game tomorrow, because the players, I'm quite clear with the players of where I see with that, and I know that the players have the capacity to really give this a good go, but we must get our game right. and be better than we were last week.
Okay, last question, Adrian Kajumba.
Frank, because of how the season's gone, you're in a situation where if tomorrow doesn't go to plan, then the sort of main goals that Chelsea would have at the start of the season will all be gone. I just wondered how you may have dealt with that as a group and with the players. Is that sort of a pressure that's sort of you can't avoid, and they just have to handle that?
I think so, and I've got no problem with it. I'm very proud to manage this club, and you know what will be tomorrow night. We'll give everything. We want to go through the tie, but also every game you play for Chelsea is an opportunity to win games, and particularly with our form this season, to try and get back to a consistent feeling that that's possible. So nothing could have less on it as far as I'm concerned. Every game we play, Madrid, Brentford, Arsenal, going forward, all through the games till we play Newcastle here on the last day, is and should be a huge game for us because of where we're at. Because individuals, myself included, the collective, we all want to prove when you represent Chelsea. So I understand, but it'll be very important, whatever way the result goes tomorrow, that we keep working until the end.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks all.